He and everybody in chat, beseeched by the multilateral universe to abstain from the iniquities of the human psyche. Jesus, that's some deep shit I wasn't ready for. What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday, and I'm in California, and it's too damn hot. Yesterday was 108. Today it's supposed to be somewhere around that number as well. I got my sunglasses on and my tank top on, and it's so damn hot in here. All right, make sure you guys join that Discord community. Link is in the description below, and make sure you guys sign up to that podcast. Subscribe to it, Tabletop Cyberpunk, where I talk more about cyberpunk and stuff like that. And make sure you guys are following me on social media at JonJonTheWise. Join the Patreon, patreon.com/JonJonTheWise, if you want to show your support for your boy. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. It's wonderful to see you all once again. I hope you guys had a wonderful day, week. We're back to this. Sexy John in a tank top. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's just too damn hot, man. I can't handle it. Sun's out, guns out. I mean, even a t-shirt is too much for me. So I'm out here. I mean, I don't need the sunglasses, but yeah. Hope you guys are having a great week. I recorded. You didn't see me monologuing. I did, actually. I read it. It was there. I recorded my night city council with James. It was fun. We did it. We recorded on Monday. I just got to edit and put that out there. Tonight I'm supposed to play Patreon games with the Patreon crew. So hopefully that will go through. If it doesn't, we'll play some Red Dragon Inn, which is something we've been doing. So if any of the Patreon folks are watching this or listening, join us in playing some Tabletop Simulator. We're doing Patreon Tabletop Simulator games on days that we're not available to do our games with the crew. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's some dude. It's funny, in LA, there was a fire in a pet store. I believe this was the story. There was a fire in a pet store, and a bunch of parakeets and parrots got out. I guess the owner had let them out so that they would be free. And that's what those are. Those are parrots or parakeets, wild parrots and parakeets that just live in LA now. They fly around, they thrive. So we legitimately have like exotic birds that just fly around because of that pet store fire. I think it was in Long Beach or Malibu or something like that. Yeah, something of that sort. But yeah, that was the situation. So it's fun. You get to hear them every now and then. Potential invasive species. Yeah, but I don't know. Nothing really happened. I think that the cat population has really, really stemmed or what do you call it? Called the bird population here. I think I read a statistic where they killed like 1 billion birds a year, which is an insane number. So yeah, that's what's going on. I don't think we have any invasive avian situation going on. But yeah, I hope you guys had a wonderful week. Let's talk more about Cyberpunk. Tell me about your games. I want to hear everything. I want to hear about potential things that are going on, and I want to hear it. Sorry, I'm getting a bunch of text messages from my wife. Let me hear what you got to say. I'm still waiting for Combat Zone. I haven't done any painting last week. I did that big project with my Bellacore, and I have some other things that I need to paint, so I haven't been doing any painting. Twiggy says, sadly, my Cyberpunk Red game won't be going on until one of my other 2 campaigns finishes. Oof. How far along are you? How far along are you on that campaign? That's what I want to know. That's fun, man. That's good. It's I don't have too many games going on. I only have the Patreon game going right now. I talked about on my last podcast about the actual play situation. I am not planning on doing any actual play games anytime soon, because basically, if you guys didn't listen to the podcast, I want to make sure that the production quality is top of the line, and I want to evolve. I want people, when they tune in, to be like, oh yeah, there's some changes. There's things that have been changed for the better. There's this is a better product, and I was starting to do that with the old group, the original Wise guys, but some shit went down, and now we are no longer a group. So I wasted a lot of time, money, and resources on trying to get that actual play situation going. And, the thing is, with groups, the group dynamic, finding groups, doing all that stuff, maintaining them, it's a very difficult thing to do. And at one point, I was like so ecstatic because I'm like, man, I finally have a good group. We're playing games, we're having fun. But that didn't last. Things happened in between that, the thing is, you ignore things and you let them go, and they always come to the surface at the end of the day. They're always going to come back to the surface. So you can't really ignore things. And that's basically what happened. The things boiled over and we just separated. Um, Not on very good terms on with some of them, but it is what it is. What can we do? I still have a good connection with a couple of the players, so they will be there for the next actual play games in the future. I just have to figure out. You get burned out. It demoralizes you whenever that kind of stuff happens. So I feel demoralized in that actual play scenario. I don't really wanna dive back into it after I spent all that time and money and it was squandered. Um, I'm sad about it, to be honest with you. So it's all good. Forget it. We're moving forward. We're doing content. We're doing our thing, and doing it. Ooh, I want to talk about that. So Twiggy says, well, my D&D campaign is at level 10 and it's an open world kingdom building campaign, so that one has the potential to never end. Yeah. The other is a mercenary Star Wars campaign set after episode 6. Oh, interesting. Yeah, the level 10 is pretty high up there. I don't think we ever got past level 11 or 12 in any of my D&D games because of whatever. The game didn't survive the normal things that break up groups. And we never got past that. But if you got a good group and you guys are going on and on open world, that sounds like it'll go forever, which is great. The Star Wars should finish first. Nice. Yeah, I took your advice and set the problem player down and just talked. Oop, hold on, guys. I got a phone call. I'll be right back. All right. Sorry, I'm back, guys. So Twiggy said, yeah, I took your advice and sat the problem player down and just talked bluntly. He agreed and he's going to grow up and learn to be better. Well, that's good news, man. I'm glad you guys opened communication and I'm glad you started talking about it like adults should do. It's a lot easier once you get over that initial awkwardness of having that conversation. But I would say my pessimistic advice to you is to keep an eye out on his behavior or their behavior, I should say, because I'm not sure what's going on with them. Um, Keep an eye out on their behavior, see what's going on. If they start slipping back into their old ways, then, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me kind of situation. You definitely want to make sure that the, the thing is, some people, they don't want to change. You know what I mean? I'm not saying this is going on with your player. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope everything is going to be even better now. But there's some people that don't want to change. They change a little bit, then they don't like the change, and then they go back to their old ways. And that's a problem. That's a problem. So I always say keep an eye out for stuff like that. But I'm glad to hear it, man. I'm glad to hear everything better. What's up, Stephen Odinson? Good morning, John. John, I'm sorry to hear about the Wise guys. Take some time to decompress. You're an awesome GM with a lot of great campaigns ahead of you. I appreciate it, Stephen. Thank you so much. It is what it is, man. Um, all good things must come to an end, as that saying says, and no group is immune to the things that can happen that will break them up. You know what I mean? That's just a fact of it. I've been through a bunch of nightmare groups, nightmare scenarios. I've had bad ones, I've had good ones, um, and all kinds in between. I've played with strangers, I've played with friends, and man, it's just you can't predict what will happen. You can't predict what will happen with the group. You don't know how long it will last. And my expectations have just become lower and lower as time has gone. And it's actually served my mental health way better. My mental health has become much better when it comes to groups and gaming and putting them together, preparedness, all those things that cause so much pain and suffering to game masters and players. My expectations have lowered, and because of that, I can have more fun and I'm less disappointed when things go bad. So the fact that the only thing that sucks is I put a lot of resources, time, energy, and thought into our next campaign, and it's all pretty much gone to shit. So that's the only bummer. I'm I'm not as bummed out as I was in the beginning. I'm cooled off already. We've had our conversations, we've had our fallout, and things have just moved on. So I'm not too worried about it right now. I'm just looking forward. I'm making the content I want to make. I'm playing the games that I want to play. I'm playing other games. I'm reading other books, and that's what's helped inspire me. And there's so much cool stuff coming in the future. You know, we're in this kind of in between where we had the core rule book for quite some time, not quite some time, but long enough that if you're a diehard fan and you got it on day one, you've played Cyberpunk Red, hopefully. So we've and I got it even before it came out, so we definitely played a lot of Cyberpunk Red. So I'm ready for more. I'm ready for anything else. I'm ready for spin-offs like the Combat Zone board game, skirmish game. I'm ready for a card game. I'm ready for whatever is out there. I'm just having fun making content for the community and giving my ideas on what is fun, what is helpful, and stuff like that. So it's all good. Twiggy says they've been playing the same D&D campaign for the past 3 years, so it took them 3 years to get to level 10. Wow. I have things in place for all the way to level 20. What they don't realize is my story arcs run off the calendar, and in 5 game years, the Tarisk is gonna awake. Ooh. Jay Gray in chat. What's up, Jay? How are you? I love how it's real world out the side window, and out the back window, you've got the Night City red filter. Oh, yeah, that's right. Good observation, Jay. Um, Tweet, I'm gonna keep an eye on him. He's gotten a little better. That's good. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you can't fool me again. Jamie Hupsch, how you doing? I'm currently running two D&D 5e campaigns. One is level 8 and the other is level 6, but when one of them finishes, my next game is going to be red. I'm not taking them to 20, but over 10 for sure. Yeah, I mean, once the thing about D&D is you start at such a high power level even at level 1, and once you get to 20, you're such a god that the kind of encounters that your game master has to like put together really are just on a different scale. You know what I mean? You're fighting like demigods and you know what, CR20 monsters and stuff like that. So it's uh it's gonna be difficult to try to grasp what kind of campaign that is. I've always said the best part of like any RPG is the beginning, because you start with nothing, you build yourself up, and then you know some people they like to speed run and get all the way rushed to the max level so they can start doing end game content, and that stuff can be fun, but really that's just a grind. You're just at a factory assembly line, you know, grinding the same thing, trying to get the best in slot loot and stuff like that. And that'll get boring after a while. But that beginning, when you got the cracked sword and the cracked sash, and you only got two spells, and you're trying to make it work with what little you have, that's the most fun, in my opinion. So a D&D campaign past level 10, unless there's some really good writing from some good writers, maybe there's some good pre-made campaigns. I'm sure there is. There's great writers out there. They maybe they can come up with a good idea, but I'm spent on ideas. I don't know what I can do, to be honest with you. I love the hero's journey. I love the struggle coming from nothing. I think Cyberpunk Red does a really good job of that, of giving you like a limited character creation where your character is a little bit limited and then they have room to grow. I love that. Your character's at the perfect little spot of reputation and ability to grow. So that's what makes Cyberpunk Red really fun. And you're basically at that level for a really long time. And it's not less fun. It's actually more fun because you get to keep exploring that ability of growing and becoming a better, more powerful person in the lore. Let's see here. Well, good luck with your game, Jamie. I hope everything goes well. William Herman says, I have an idea for a scenario in 2020 I'm calling Live from the Combat Zone. That's great. Where my players have to defend a concert that's live streaming from the zone so they could have some fun with that. That's a great idea. There's actually, in the Home of the Brave supplement book for Cyberpunk 2020, there's a, shoot, what's the show called? Uh, struggled expectations, something like that. Well, the idea is that you take rich corporate people and you set up a bunch of hidden cameras and you put like cameras on them, and then they go and they live the slum life, eating kibble, living in a cage or a container. And the idea is the audience gets to watch you like a reality show and gets to watch you live this container, scummy, low life kind of existence. And the fun of it is taking you out of your cushy, safe corporate zone and putting you into that situation. They talk about it in the Home of the Brave. It's like a big show that's going on in the 2020 era. So that's reminiscent of what you're talking about. Yours is fun, you know. Obviously, I think that's a really great idea. People want to. It reminds me of when my cousin visited from Australia. I talked about this in one of our live sessions, but she came and she's like, I want you to take me to Skid Row. I want to see what it's like. I want to see Compton." And I was like, "Dude, we don't go there for a reason. It's not a tourist attraction. It's a dangerous area. It's a dangerous part of town. And if you're not from there, it's even more dangerous. You stick out, something could happen to us. I'm not going there." And she was like, she didn't understand. And I'm like, dude, it's not a tourist attraction. You know what I mean? But in Cyberpunk, I can see why people would want to feel like that too. You know, they hear about this combat zone where there's no laws, there's no rules, there's death on every corner. That sounds like the perfect reality show for people that like to see a train wreck. You know what I mean? So good luck with that. I like that. Sounds like fun. How movies always add an orange filter to Mexico. Ba, ba, ba. Yeah, I'm excited for Black Chrome. I want to see what it offers, says Twiggy. And Jay Gray says, we're working on it. Promise. I believe it. I believe it. KZ, still waiting for CPR data screen, and I hope there will be some DLC like Night City and Chromebook. Well, as far as I know, it's been hinted that Night City's sourcebook will be a thing because you got to do it. I agree, you got to do it. And Chromebook is coming out. That's going to be the next release, as far as I know, as far as supplements go. And the data screen was supposed to be in our hands. I saw it in, so like some other countries, it's been localized and print to standard that R. Talsorian likes, because I seen the Italian data screen. Somebody posted it online. So it's out there, but I guess something went wrong and the printing didn't come out at the quality that R. Talsorian likes. And so it kind of halted the release of the data screen. So I'm glad that they caught the issue before it got into my hands. Nobody wants a low quality product, so I appreciate that, and yeah, I hope we get it soon as well. At John, when my guys get to that level 20 god status, I plan on not sending them against singular hard enemies, but against armies to give them the Dynasty Warrior 1 versus 1,000 feel. Oh, that's fun. I wonder how that would work, though. Do you roll 1,000 dice? Or do you just do like one swing of your sword kills 20 guys? Is that the kind of thing that you do? That would be fun. Neko, what's going on? Good to see you. What's up, Nihilus? Good to see you, man. Your favorite solo is here. Have no fear. Yep. All right. Reading through the chat. Why, John? Don't you want to get robbed, shot, or attacked? Yeah, I guess I'm a weirdo. In fact, I get forever truck privileges after paying your screw up. Oh, we're talking about our Patreon game. Do you know what Mojo World is in X-Men? That sounds familiar. No, I'm not. I'm not too familiar with that. I love X-Men, but I never read the comics. My only exposure to X-Men growing up was a Saturday morning cartoon, and I don't remember like exact details from the cartoon. I just remember watching it and thinking that it was awesome, and I've always loved it since then. Exactly what I tell my friends that live outside of New Mexico. Come for the views, stay because someone stole your car. Oof. As someone who's had their car stolen, it sucks, man. It's a violation. I hate it. I bought English version of Cyberpunk Red because can't wait more for the Polish version. Well, hey man, that's the benefit of being multilingual. So kudos to you. I think they had Mojo World for a few episodes in the 90s cartoon. Yeah, that's why it sounds familiar. I think that it might have been in the 90s cartoon. I just don't remember exactly what it was all about. Was it some kind of like carnival thing or like big tent carnival clowns, but with death and destruction? Sounds like it could be something like that. That would be a great cyberpunk idea. It's like a game show. It's like a Riddler game show kind of thing. Mojo was a bad guy. It was like a game show world. Okay, gladiatorial arena. Oh, that's fun. I did that in a D&D campaign once. I had them come to like this town that has a dungeon, and the players entered the dungeon without knowing that it's a game show. They're in there, they walk in, and then the ceiling is gone. It disappears through magic, and they see a giant stadium of an audience all watching them and cheering, and you hear an announcer, ladies and gentlemen, we are here at the dungeon. And the party goes through this dungeon and has to try to figure out the mysteries of it, but it's a spectator sport. People are watching them go through the dungeon. So that was my idea for D&D. That would be great for that combat zone idea too. It was like, I want to pick up Red Dragon Inn for my D&D group after we played. I'm never listening to you again though. Yeah. Yeah, that was fun. My FLGS didn't have it. Walmart doesn't have it. The only person that has it is Amazon. I wanted to try to support as many of the local shops as I can, so I called all the local shops. They all said we don't have it and it's out of stock. It's back ordered. We can't get it. So I think I have no choice but to use Amazon, which is a bummer, man. It's a bummer that Amazon is so much more efficient. Like, there's been so many scenarios where I go to my FLGS and I'm like, hey, I want to buy this or that. And he's like, I don't have it, but I can order it for you. And I'm like, okay, when are you going to get it? And he's like, I don't know, man. I'll order it and hopefully it'll come to me soon within a week. And it'll be like 2, 3, 4 weeks later and he still didn't get it. And my wife's like, why don't you just order from Amazon? I don't get it. You would have had it, like 3, 4 weeks ago already. You would have it the next day. And she's right. I would have, but I really want to support the FLGS, especially I become really close to him. And but he gets it too. He knows. He's like, I know, man, just it is what it is. So it's a tough situation, man, with distribution like that. I think I'm just gonna have to get it from Amazon. I'm waiting until like the last moment, like, because I'm not gonna be able to play it right now. So if I know that me and my buddies are gonna play in a week, then I'll get it from Amazon if he doesn't have it. But if he can order it and it'll get there in time, then I'll just get it from him. So, but yeah, it's tough, man. All right, here we go. Jamie says Mojo World is where the Mojo kidnaps heroes to death arena fights for viewers across many worlds. Oh, it's like a multi-world, world's most dangerous game meets Brother Survivor. That's fun. There's a reason they're so big and efficient. Yeah, I know. Cyber Smiley, FLGS are in a hard place. They used to stock everything, but the D20 crazy has made them weary of ordering too much crap. Well, my guy told me that if somebody asks for a product and he doesn't have it, he immediately orders it. Because he's like, it's, there's enough demand for it that somebody called me and asked for it. So if somebody called me and asked, then I just immediately order it. And now it's going to be like 2 or 3 people that have asked him about Red Dragon Inn. It's a fun board game. It's a fun card game, and the it's like a casual card game with friends. And he ordered it, but he's like, it's back ordered. I don't know when I'm gonna get it. It's the same thing with Games Workshop. Like there's Warhammer models that I wanted. He could never get it. I remember I asked him for a Hellbrute, which is the chaos version of a dreadnought, and I was like, yeah, I want to order it. I pre-ordered it. I gave him the $60, and he's like, okay, I'll order it for you. Then I got COVID, and I was quarantined for 2 weeks, and I didn't see him for another 2 weeks after that, and it had been like almost a month and a half since I had seen him. So I'm like, surely it's there waiting for me now. It's been a month and a half. I go there and he's like, dude, it never showed up. They don't have it. They've never fulfilled the order. I've gotten other stuff from them. Never got the Hellbrute. And I was like, is there any chance it's gonna come within a week? And he's like, there's no chance it's coming. So I just diverted that money for something else. I was like, all right, I'll just buy this other thing over here then. And it was sad, like I can't get the thing that I want through my local shop, and I'm forced to go through big corporations to try to get the item that I want. Even giving myself the most inconvenience, waiting a month after my order to get something. I'll go that far and I still can't get the product that I want, and it's sad. It sucks. I don't know if it's all because of COVID or what it is, but it's sad to see that corporations, because of their distribution and their power, that they can pretty much push out the little guy. I don't like that. It sucks because there's no Amazon store where I can go and play. You know, everything that I learned about painting, I learned from my FLGS. The advice that he gave me, what colors to use, what techniques. He's like, this brush is good, that brush is bad. Use this thing instead of that. I ask him about a game. He's like, oh yeah, that game that's about this, this, and this. It's comparable to this other game. It's fun for like 4 people. It's 2 hours long. This is all valuable information that you're not really gonna get from the Amazon description. It's like it's that connection is not there. You can email people and then try to figure it out or look on YouTube. But like going and asking a guy their opinion about stuff that they're knowledgeable about it means so much more. So of course I want to support him. Of course I want to support the FLGS. He's given me valuable information. But yeah, we're all limited, so it is what it is. Yeah, sounds like Cyberpunk exactly. All right, getting back to chat. Twiggy says it's because these companies prioritize Amazon over the LGS, and it's so dumb. The same is happening with Magic the Gathering. Wizard cut LGS stock down to like 20% of their norm while going with Amazon. Yeah, I mean, it's not just Amazon, Walmart too. Like Walmart has a whole rack of like Pokemon cards and Magic the Gathering cards. I think even 7-Eleven does, if I'm not mistaken. But the idea is that they just want to get it out there to as many people, which I understand that too. It's a business, and you want to make sure that it's as efficient as possible. Some might argue that they should give even less stock to FLGSs because it just sits on the shelves and doesn't get purchased. And if Amazon is like, hey, we're all sold out, where's our stuff? They might be like, oh, we missed out on so much sales because we gave it to Jack's board game hut instead of giving it to Amazon. So I get that perspective. It's all about capitalism and making money, but it's not all about capitalism and making money. It's also about connecting with the community, growing the community, and you don't get that connection from ordering from Amazon and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like when a new Magic the Gathering set comes out, he's like, before it even comes out, it's sold out, is what he told me. He said, I already know without people asking, I already know like 5 to 10 guys personally that are gonna come and buy these. So they don't even have to call me and pre-order. I just put them to the side because I know on day one they're gonna be here or day two they're gonna be here. And that's not something you get from Amazon. All right, Amazon is first come first serve. You don't get that kind of love and care that you get from an FLGS, fully licensed game store. If you guys are not familiar with the term, so So that's why I like supporting him and his shop, especially if it's a good shop. There's some bad ones out there. I've heard some horror stories of like gatekeeping. Oh man, oh man, I saw this one thing on Twitter. There's this one FLGS that had these like rules of like you cannot be a game master at our store unless you follow this criteria. You have to have read all these books. You have to do, I don't know. It was like a lot of really dumb things. Like you have to know every spell, and you have to know the meta, and these like prerequisite things for people to be able to play at that shop. And it's like, why are you going to put more obstacles for people to play at your shop, dude? I have no idea why anyone would do something like that. There's already enough obstacles in the way of people being able to play games. Why are you going to add more obstacles? I get like normal stuff like, hygiene, be respectful, wear a mask because of CDC guidelines like in the past, not anymore. But, saying stuff like you got to know all the spells and you got to read all the books and know them. Like if we tell you what's on page 103, you got to tell me what's on page 103. That kind of stuff is insane. It's insane. So those are like nightmare situations. But, there's good ones out there too. Let's see. Jamie says it's how corporals control the world, man, making the rules they force everyone else to live by. They make the rules, yeah. That's it. The Great Reset. What's effing friend? It's okay. It's either friendly local gaming store, or it's fully licensed gaming store. Friendly local gaming shop or fully licensed gaming store. Though that's the acronym. Acronym, right? Huge companies don't care about communities. They have advertisers. Yeah. What's up, Jimmy? Love you. You're a sexy bastard. That store sounds sweaty as fuck. Yeah, it sounds like ass. It's terrible. That's a terrible thing. Just think about all the obstacles that are in between you and being able to play with the group. There's the social anxiety. There's the fact that, scheduling conflict. There is location, like traffic. It takes too long for you to get to the place that you need to go. You got to get home in time to, feed your family, take a shower, put your son to bed, whatever it is. There's all these obstacles in the way. Why add more things and gatekeep a hobby? That the worst thing you can do is gatekeeping a hobby. That kills the hobby. And I've seen it happen to other games. I've seen it happen within gaming groups, and it kills the hobby. And what it essentially does is it hurts business, and it makes people turned off from the game completely. Um, Warhammer was like that. It was a lot like that. But new Warhammer with a new crew, and it. There's a lot of people that there's a lot of corporations that pretend they care about social issues. And we're not trying to get political here, guys. I'm just giving you guys an example about how hobbies can be killed. There's a lot of companies out there that pretend that they care about social issues just for sales and just for optics. And it's obvious. We all know that. We make fun of them, and we know when they're doing it. But then there's also the fact that when they do make a stand and they do say something publicly and they say like this is our official stance on this situation, that it basically cultivates a positive community. It cultivates positivity throughout the community, and it stamps out the negativity, and it kicks out all these like fringe groups that are trying to kill it from the inside. And that's a positive thing. And Games Workshop did that recently with their with there's a lot of like tropes in like fascism and crazy shit that's in Games Workshop's lore that they kind of like changed around, and they're like everybody is welcome at our table. We do not support gatekeeping. We support people of all color, sexual orientation, everything. And if you don't like it, you're not welcome to play at our table, is what they basically said. Or they basically said like, we don't support you. If you want to go play with your racist friends, go ahead, but we're not about you, and we don't welcome you. And what that did was all the normal positive people were like, yeah, this is great. We love this. We love you, Games Workshop. Thank you for saying this awesome thing. That's great. I love this hobby. They doubled down on it. Like this is the hobby that I like. And then all the like racist idiot dumbasses were like, "Oh, what Games Workshop is woke. Look at them trying to be woke." All the other weird bullshit that those people say. And you know, so they can go off and do their thing, and we can go off and do our thing and have a positive community, just like we have in Cyberpunk. We have all these positive communities where we're growing content creators, we're helping people find games, we're answering questions. There's no gatekeeping. There's no like you can't play unless you played 2020 or any of that bullshit. It's just play, have fun, do it your own way, and everyone is welcome. And that's what I love. That's what I love about this community is how it's so welcoming to everybody. Yeah, I just want to play games, as Twiggy said. Sorry, missed chat. Let me get back to it. Twiggy says, "Oh, trust, we all know they lie for optics. Watch them change their logo back to normal in a few weeks." I know, man. It's ridiculous. There's a guy called Treant Monk for D&D who has a tagline, "D&D is for everyone," that I like. It should be gaming is for everyone in general. Gatekeeping sucks. Yeah, yeah. I mean, his audience is a D&D audience, so he's just trying to say it is for everyone. Everyone's allowed at my table, too. I've always said that. Everyone is welcome to play at my table, as long as they respect that everyone is okay to be at the table. The only people that are not welcome, and even the people that are not welcome initially are welcome. Like you can come to my table. I don't know anything about you. I don't know anything about your problems, and I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and give you a seat at my table. And I'm going to let you play, and until you show me that you're not welcome anymore, you're still going to be welcome there. So initially everybody is always welcome at my table, and I think that that kind of positivity is very important too. You should give people the chance and the benefit of the doubt, because the worst thing that can happen is they ruin one session and then that's it. You kick them out, you cut them out of the group, and you're like, this isn't the place for you. You're too political. You're racist. You're sexist. You like exploring themes that we don't like talking about. Whatever it is, all these things you can deal with later, but initially I like to keep that positivity of like everybody's welcome to play, everybody's welcome to be a part of this community and this group, because we're just trying to have fun, We're trying to make friends with people that are into the same things that we're into. At the end of the day, that's what it is. It's like I like this game, you like this game, let's play, and then we become friends. And that's basically what hobbying is. And that's what I've been experiencing. The whole quotes woke movement is extremely toxic and ruins so many things. Yeah, I mean, we won't get into that, but my only commentary on that was some people that like saying like, "Oh, you go woke, go broke," or some other shit like that, like that are resistant to things that basically the intentions of those things were to make people feel more welcome and comfortable in their own skin and happy and get out of depression and find friends that can support them. All the positive things about it. Anybody that's resistant to that, I automatically like, you're kind of bad in my book. You know what I mean? I understand that there's some people that pretend that they care about social issues, just like we talked about in corporations. And I understand that's also with people. They pretend to be a part of this like progressive movement just so they can, get attention or make friends. But that's just some bad apples, you know what I mean? And we all know, we all understand that. It's just human dynamic. There's people that are assholes no matter what community they're a part of. But for the most part, the intentions of all these, the rhetoric of the woke culture is to help people. It's positivity. It's to let people know that it's okay, that who you are, it's okay. Like it's okay that you are who you are, and you're beautiful and you're wonderful and you're welcome. So what's so bad about that? I really don't understand what's so bad about that. I don't understand why there has to be any resistance towards that. The intention is positivity. So anytime somebody like hates that kind of thing and like talks shit about a company making a stance like that, yeah, maybe they're disingenuous, but the message is still a good message. You know what I mean? Anyway, I don't want to get so fucking. I usually don't like talking about shit like this because it's so divisive, but that's just how I feel about it. Games Workshop made that statement, which I felt like was aimed at that shithead Arch Warhammer on YouTube. Yeah, they made him change his name to just regular Arch. They said you got to take your Warhammer out of your name. Yeah, his situation was crazy. The guy's anyway, I don't want to talk about him. People are people. Have a GM knowing what they are doing at a store isn't a bad thing, as new players will be taught. Some players, new and old, might not have the patience for a new game master. Yeah, but I mean, that's up to the players whether they want to play in the game or not. The store gatekeeping, whether that game master can try to run a game even though they're new, is pretty disappointing in my opinion. If the store is like, hey, we have on Fridays we run D&D games and we have our own game masters, then fine, gatekeep as much as you want. These are official game masters that represent your store. Hold on, guys, let me drink some water. These are official game masters that run your that are part of your store. I get that. Have whatever criteria you want within reason because they represent your store. If you want them to be veterans so they can help new people play, I totally get that too. But from what I saw, from what I'm talking about, the store was like anyone that wants to run a game in my shop has to have this minimum level of requirements before they even think of being a game master. And I don't think that that's that's what I have a problem with. So yeah. Bronx, what's up, buddy? I remember back in the 90s when I first saw 40K being played at the local game store in Riverside. Oh yeah, the guys playing there were totally rude to me and I was being curious about the game. Yeah. Yeah, that was a common. That's why Warhammer. That's what Warhammer was known as. It was known as like this game where everybody was like, "Dude, you don't know about this. Like, get the fuck out of here. Walk away. You're not welcome here." And they would make fun of you because you didn't know the rules, as if you're supposed to know the rules about a game that you've never played. So that kind of gatekeeping is ridiculous. There's also this thing where people put a value on how much they know about a game. You know what I mean? Where like they put themselves on a pedestal because they know more about a game. Like some people consider me to be an expert of Cyberpunk Red, but I don't consider myself to be an expert of Cyberpunk Red. The only expert of Cyberpunk Red is James Hutt, Jay Gray, Mike Pondsmith, Cody Pondsmith, Lisa Pondsmith, and anybody else that works on Cyberpunk Red. Those are the experts. We're all just playing the game. We're doing the hobby. Yeah, maybe I've read more about it. Yeah, I make content about it. But guess what? Sometimes even my videos, I look back and I was like, wow, I was totally wrong on that. And people in the comments have corrected me. We don't know. We're just playing the game. We're doing the hobby. Anyone that pretends that they're better than somebody else because they know more about a game is just ridiculous, dude. A wise man thinks he, okay, a fool thinks he's a wise man and knows everything. A wise man knows that he's actually a fool and knows very little. That's true to how it is. The smartest people, the most genius people out there realize like, oh, I'm actually limited in my knowledge. Even though I have a knowledge about like vast subjects, there's so many things that I just don't know anything about. And that's what you learn. The more you learn, you're like, oh, there's so much that I actually don't know. And it's the truth about hobbying and even Cyberpunk Red. I learn new things every day. Heck, I do a show every month where we answer questions about Cyberpunk Red that I don't know the answers to. I mean, I can answer them based on my opinion, but I don't know the actual answer to. And that's why James is there as an expert, one of the game designers, telling us what their intentions were for game design, what it means, and he even gives like page numbers and stuff like that. For me to think that I'm better than the rest of the public is just so arrogant, and it just screams hubris that it's not who I am. It's not who I. I'd rather have my ears open and my mouth closed so I can learn than have my mouth open and close myself off to everybody else and just spout out my bullshit. Anyway, there you go. Ba, ba, ba. Mr. Rat Hace. I found your channel a few weeks ago and it's helping me a ton figuring out the huge differences between execs and fixers. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome, man. It's great to have you. Thank you so much for joining the community. And I love seeing new people in the community. And the exec and the fixer, there's a lot of things that they generally do. They overlap. Fixers and execs both specialize in working with people. There's the social aspect within them is one of what's most important. But what role they play in the cyberpunk universe is very different. The fixer is somebody that is connected to the streets, and the exec is somebody that's connected to the corporate ladder. And there's things that an exec can't do that a fixer can, and vice versa. There's resources and things, and just like the status of being an exec, being a mid-level executive for Biotechnica means a lot more than being Two-Face, the Night City fixer in certain situations. You know what I mean? So, but they both deal with people. John is my kink, not gonna lie. Love you, Jimmy. Playing games freely and accepting people. Bonk, bonk me harder. Ba, ba, ba. I'm just reading chat. Cyber Smiley, the shame about trouble players is often they have friends at the table and you have to kick that player out, and it can cause a group breakup, but usually that isn't a bad thing. Boy, do I agree with you wholeheartedly on that, Cyber Smiley. You invite a friend over, they're like, hey, I got a friend that I play D&D with, can you join our group? And you're like, great, it's a friend of a friend. That's, where else are we going to find people that we can trust? Then friend of a friend comes and you're like, oh, you put up with a lot more than I would have by bringing this friend. I guess you put up with a lot of his shit, or you find it entertaining, and I'm over here annoyed of your friend, and that's a big problem. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. William Herman, there's a difference between taking a stand and trying to pander pacify. Yeah, for sure. Oh man, I'm behind. What's up, Roland? Typically, when a place rules like that, they have dealt with some shit. Unfortunate. Yeah. Rensten, water's expensive. It shouldn't be. John is an expert in beard grooming and being a hot piece of meat. Thanks, dude. It took me over 10 years to pick it up after I moved to Pennsylvania and found great groups of guys that helped me get into the community. I even started a FLGS to help them. Wow, that's amazing, Bronx. So you have your own gaming store, Bronx? I would love to know about it. Zydrate comes in a little glass vial. Steven, I just don't like people using things to manipulate people for their own personal gain, but I reckon I agree. I'm happy a good message is promoted, and I should say I don't know any of their motives. I don't know what that's in regards to. Hoxton says there's always someone who's better at any time you do, so the best thing you can do is just keep doing stuff. Same with art. I could have done that myself, but yeah, I did it. You don't. Yeah, exactly. The thing is, you can be an expert at something through time and experience and stuff like that, but even then there's still so much to learn. And we've seen it in a lot of subjects, a lot of academia and a lot of subjects in academics, where there's the status quo of what people think they know and they've become experts on, and they close their mind to any other possibilities that they could be wrong, or the teachers that taught them that could be wrong, and it stunts the progress of that specific type of academic achievement or academic subject. And then it creates this weird tribalism where the old school doesn't like the new school because they're coming here with their new fresh ideas and new technology, and they're threatening everything that we worked for, when really all they're doing is trying to serve the purpose of innovation and moving forward. And you can't innovate and move forward and evolve into something more beautiful if you're just cutting it down before it can grow at the roots. So you see that a lot with gatekeeping and the hobbies as well. The hobbies can't grow. People don't buy the books because they're like, why should I buy a book about a game where the community is just toxic? Games Workshop went through that. They made big changes. Now more people are playing their games than ever, and all those assholes that were gatekeeping are made fun of and shamed because they should be shamed. I mean, they should be shamed for doing that, for trying to ruin a hobby. You know what I mean? It's a game at the end of the day, and you're sitting there with your judgments about other people and how they play the game. Let me turn this window up a little bit. Get some shade on my, because the sun's like hitting right on my leg right here. Being rude to people doesn't make any sense because you're just limiting the people you can play with. Exactly. That attitude is common with a lot of different elite groups, not only board games. For example, RPG games, IT sector, etc. Yeah. Yeah, there's always going to be that subset of people. Then you watch said community be rude, shut out newbies, and even harass those learning. It's just sad. It's very sad when that happens. Oh, politics and big companies. Sorry if we were over that topic. Yeah, no. I just didn't know exactly what it was in reference to. All good. Being overconfident and your ignorance is called the Dunning-Kruger effect. Yeah. That's what that. You know when you guys watch American Idol, if you guys watch American Idol, and you got that weirdo that comes on with a terrible voice, and they're like, it's clear that they can't sing, and everyone's like, whoa, stop! Your voice is terrible. Go home. This is terrible. This is not good. And they're like, what are you talking about? Everybody I know tells me I'm an amazing singer, and it's like, well, everybody's lying to you, and they just are convinced. They're convinced that everyone else is wrong and they are correct. That Dunning-Kruger thing happens in gaming so much, dude. It happens so much. It's insane. See you, Nihilist. Love you, buddy. I'll see you tonight. Yeah, 100%. The games of Games Workshop and animation are really taking off. They started leaning into their community and it worked wonders. Yeah, no, there's just like how Cyberpunk Red has made a giant, or Cyberpunk as the game from Artel Sorian has made a giant leap forward with Red 2077. There's going to be the skirmish game, probably another board game, probably a trading card game. I'm speculating. And there's going to be the Netflix show. I mean, there's so many things going on. It's great. It's awesome, man. It's great to see the other companies doing it too. Games Workshop doing it. It's awesome to see Wizards of the Coast even doing it. You know what I mean? It's great to see it. Yo, what's up, JD? Good to see you, buddy. Great to have you here. I just want a turn-based XCOM like Warhammer game. No, I just want the digital version of the board tabletop game. Like, I want to have armies officially supported. Like, I can buy the armies. This is what I really want. I want that if I buy the actual, like, I go to the store, I buy the box of a unit of Space Marines or whatever. And in the box is the plastic bits. I put them together. I paint them. But also in the box is like a QR code or a number code that I put into an official game, and my Space Marines that I purchased with my own real money are now usable in this digital version, so I can play my friend that lives in Bangladesh anytime I want, as long as our time zones are willing to do it. And we can play with the models that I paid for, and we're not limited to the fact that we're not near each other. I mean, it's a digital age. Is that so much to ask? Is that such a pipe dream to ask for? I don't know. I don't know what goes in between all that. It's just a dream for me to be able to do that. I'm talking about like I bought it. It's mine. I own it. I'm not trying to get it for free, even though right now there is a digital version of Warhammer that you can play for free on Tabletop Simulator. There's a lot of rigmarole. You gotta like do a lot of things here and there, and it's kind of like in a gray area of like legality. And I don't want that. I would rather like pay for it and have a really good product that works intuitively. I don't, and but right now our only options are Either you buy it and play it in person, or you do this weird kind of illegal digital version that Games Workshop is fully aware of, but they haven't really done anything about it because they're kind of happy that people are still playing their game. And yeah, but anyway, I'm digressing like crazy. I can't wait to kick your ass with the bozos when we get the tabletop simulator version of the Combat Red game. Yeah, exactly. So like what Monster Fight Club is doing is amazing. They're gonna make sure that there's a tabletop simulator version of their game. So people that buy the game and have the models, they can play in person. But then there's also going to be a tabletop simulator version of the game. That's great. That's actually amazing. It's good for me and my channel. It's good for the hobby. It's good for everybody that wants to give the game a shot before they start buying it. It's something that I think is actually ahead of its time. I think we're late to the party as far as all the companies, gaming companies go. I think most gaming companies are a little bit late to the party when it comes to the digital age. There's things that you're just like, why isn't there an app that does X or Y? Like it doesn't make sense. They should have the capability to do that. But obviously, resources, time, energy, whatever it is, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But our initial thought is, why isn't there a digital version of this that does that, the X that does Y for this game? And a lot of companies have fallen behind on that, and they're trying to catch up. They're doing things, and it's left to like the outside world, outside of the company, to make their own not above board versions of the things that people want. And it sucks that we have to, that's our only choice. But John, they can't do that because they can't charge exuberant prices for single plastic units. Of course they can. The fact that they have a developer doing open Q&A sessions with you says so much about Artel Sorian and how their level of commitment to the community. It's honestly amazing. It really is, man. And I think that I think the perception of Artel Sorian might be a little bit what are, I'm trying to find the word, maybe misinformed, or not misinformed, I don't know what the word is. Basically, people think Artel Sorian is a way, but it's actually a different way. It's a small family company, and they're all working their asses off like crazy. Every time I talk to James, he's in the office and he's working his ass off. He's like, yeah, I did a whole shift, like all the time. He's always working. He's always busy. He's always creating. He's shown me like a few notes here and there of stuff that he's doing. He's always doing something, and we want so much from them. We want so much. We want them to churn out things at a level that we're used to from other companies, but they're really just doing their best. And they're even doing their best to connect to the community. And I've witnessed it firsthand. They're doing their very best to connect with the community. And to be honest with you, it's not that easy to connect with the community sometimes. It's not as easy as it doesn't come naturally to everybody. You know what I mean? But they're making a concerted effort to make sure that everyone is enjoying their game and everyone that has purchased their game gets a quality product and gets quality support from them. And I can't fault them for that. Honestly, I can't. Anything that they do, I can only praise them. I know I sound like a shill, but that's really the reality of it. I just talked well about Games Workshop, and they're not paying me. I don't even make content about them. So that's I'm just saying it straight from the heart, guys. That's it. So yeah, I agree. I love Artel Sorian. They're the best. Let's see here. Reading. Cut him some slack. I love the Mad Queen J Grey combo for Cyberpunk lore. Yeah, Mad Queen is super knowledgeable. Is she still making Cyberpunk content? I haven't really followed up on any of her stuff. I think she kind of stayed away. She's away from Cyberpunk now, is she? She's not, huh? Okay. Yeah, she's moved on. Yeah, that's all good. She knows a lot about Cyberpunk, though. I mean, that's a shame that she's moved on, but it is what it is. Enet has stopped because of the hat she was getting. Enet was stopped because of the hat she was getting? I'm not sure what that means. Thankfully, you came along to bridge that gap. Yeah, she was getting hat. The hat she was getting. I don't know what that means. Is everything okay with her? Is she all right? I know that. Oh, hate. Oh, why did she get hate, man? I'm not it. See, I don't. I don't get involved with too much drama. Hate. Sorry, bad at typing. No, you're fine, Bronx. She has stopped because of the hate she was getting. That's really terrible, man. Oh, because of the whole 2077 thing. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, I know. I saw it. I saw a lot of it. It's really unfortunate, man. It's really, really unfortunate that that would happen. And I get why someone would get burned out from that and want to step away from it and do some other stuff because of a toxic community. There's even a whole subreddit called Low Sodium Cyberpunk that focuses on the positivity of Cyberpunk 2077. And it's sad that there has to be another group created separate from the official subreddit just so people can be like, hey, do you like this game? I like this game. So do you guys want to talk about it without talking shit? That's really sad. That sucks when that situation happens. But that's also a reality that is a part of our lives. But yeah, I'm sorry that that happened. It's not good for anyone's mental health. She's just a human being. She's a fan of Cyberpunk, and if she stopped making content because of hate, then that's really unfortunate. That sucks. Yeah, the fortunately so far all the Cyberpunk Red and 2020 communities, for the most part, have been positive communities. Even though there are some bad apples out there, they're in the minority. And as far as I know, even from all the content creators in Cyberpunk Red, all their intentions, for the most part, have been positive. And even if there are some unsavory characters within the community as a whole generally is a really positive, good community. And that's the only reason I haven't been that I've been still making content, to be honest with you. If it ever devolves on, like, knock on wood, wherever wood is, if it ever devolves into being like some kind of negative community, then I don't know how long I would last within it, to be honest with you. But I don't see that happening, to be honest, because I'm one of the top content creators and I'm all about not doing that. So, you know, and I uplift other creators that are like-minded. So I think that we've done a good job. I think we've done a good job, and I think Artel Sorian's commitment to making sure that the community is a positive community has also helped immensely too. So fortunately for us, we're in a good spot right now. Yeah. Uh, Legion Necros is doing well. I don't know who that is. Is that DND? Nicholas Montelhit. Montelhit. I'm so sorry, I butchered your last name. But Nicholas says, "Hi, John. Big fan. My friends and I were having an argument on therapy to regain humanity. When you go see an NPC for therapy and pay the price, do you still get to roll for the NPC medtech skill?" You know what? That's something that I haven't looked into completely. Therapy, I know it exists. I love that it exists. I don't know the exact mechanics. But the I don't know the exact mechanics on therapy and exactly how it goes down, but I believe that you do have to do some kind of med tech role for it. I think the idea is that you can go to a therapy session and it can be unsuccessful. And then that means that you pretty much wasted your time. Like, you didn't make a breakthrough within your therapy that can help you and your humanity, which I understand that. So that adds a element of, like, there has to be an element of failure to mechanics, to make them a mechanic, or else it's not a mechanic. It's just something that happens. But for it to be some kind of mechanic, there has to be an element of failure. So that does sound like it's the right thing. If Jay Gray's in chat and wants to chime in, that would be great. Otherwise, please email me that question so I can ask James Hutt about it. JonJonTheWise@gmail.com. Email me that so we can talk about it on our next Night City Council session. Con save. Lichio Necros in the Cyberpunk community. His stuff is the Cyberpunk media section. Oh, cool, cool. Yeah, I love the con save. They're great. The con save is really, really great. Love those people. Love all of them. They're great. And High Shelf Gaming is great. I have noticed that some people are trying to do other things too, not just Cyberpunk. Obviously, I'm one of the only people that's like super hyper focused on Cyberpunk. But that's just because it's the only content that I feel like making. Even my wife was like, "Why aren't you making Warhammer content? You read the books, you play the games, you buy the models, you collect, you paint them." I bought like a new. She bought me a new display for Father's Day, a new display case for my Warhammer models. But honestly, I'm just not interested in making Warhammer content. I'm just not. I'm interested. I like playing the game. I don't feel any desire to make any content about it. I talk about it constantly. Obviously, it's one of my favorite things right now. But Cyberpunk is really what I care about as far as making content. I feel like it's such an interesting, fun world and such a cool concept that's like kind of sad when you think about it, but it's also fun and funny and interesting and cool. The nightclubs and partying and running around as a solo with cyberware on is so fucking cool. But then there's also the truth of like corporations ruling the world and you not being able to do anything about it. And we all know what that's like. So those sad elements is what makes it really fun. Cyberpunk is interesting when it blurs reality with fiction. Yeah, I know, man. I haven't felt anything like that. Yeah. I'm currently in a 40k Crusade. That's awesome, man. That's great. I've yet to play a Crusade game, but that sounds like fun. It's interesting. The narrative aspect, you think that I would, because I read the books and stuff like that, that you think I'd like the narrative aspect of the game, but I really just don't care for it all that much. I just want to play the competitive aspect of it. Casual competitive, right? All right, guys. We've done an hour of talking cyberpunk and companies and communities and whatever the hell else we talk about. You know how this kind of thing evolves. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for the support and love. I hope all of your games go well. I hope all of your gaming groups go well. Please, next chat, come back, have some stories. Let me know. I want to let's talk about what's going on. If you got problem players, you can't find a game, you're unsure about a rule, whatever it is, write it down. So next time we do Cyberpunk in a Car, we can have some chats about all that stuff and help each other out. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful week. It was good seeing all of you. Take care. Happy gaming. Love you guys. Bye.